What's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we've got Belal Muhammad's callouts, Jake Paul's message to Dana White, and an angry Gamebred, and much more. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel to see more videos just like this. Now let's get into it. After knocking out Tyron Woodley, Jake Paul sends a message to UFC President Dana White. Jake Paul shocked the fight world on Saturday night, knocking out former UFC welterweight champion Tyron Woodley in Tampa, Florida in the rematch of their August boxing fight. That makes 2 straight wins for Paul against Woodley, the first a split decision win, and then a spectacular KO this weekend, in which Paul finished Woodley with a beautiful right hook that slept the retired MMA fighter. The fight was pretty stale all throughout until Paul landed that right hook in the 6th. He's now a perfect 5-0 in his professional boxing career, and with the spotlight firmly on him, Jake Paul wanted to send a message to UFC President Dana White, and said this during his post-fight press conference.
I just knocked out a 5-time UFC champion and embarrassed your whole company, and please let me get Kamaru Usman, please let me get Diaz, please let me get Masvidal, please let me get McGregor, because I'm gonna embarrass them too. I promise you that, Dana. I promise you that.
Dana White had bashed Paul, Triller, and the whole spectacle in press conferences and in media interviews whenever he was asked about the YouTuber turned boxer. But what do you make of Jake Paul's comments towards the UFC president?
Are you leaving here directly to go watch Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley, I imagine?
No. You gonna watch it?
Probably. Nothing else to do.
Sounds like you're in for a fun evening.
Belal Muhammad calls out Leon Edwards and champion Kamaru Usman after dominating Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Belal Muhammad walked away with a coveted victory at UFC Fight Night 199 over the weekend, having defeated Stephen Wonderboy Thompson in Las Vegas via unanimous decision. The win extends Muhammad's unbeaten streak to 7 straight fights, including 6 wins with 1 no contest. That lone no contest was against Leon Edwards that happened earlier this year as a result of several eye pokes by Rocky. In this fight, however, against Thompson, Muhammad wasted no time. He took control of the bout, taking down Wonderboy and blasted him with shots. After having his hand raised in the octagon on Saturday night, Muhammad had his moment in the post-fight interview to make some call-outs, and this is what he had to say.
The only thing I'm feeling right now is Kamaru Usman. I need that title shot. Leon Edwards fighting 55ers. He almost got knocked out by Nate Diaz. Get the fudge out of here. Stay in London. Stay in hiding. Bully's here. Bully's ready to fight. Let's get new blood in the title shots. Give me the fight.
With Kamaru Usman beating opponent after opponent in his welterweight title defenses, there's been a dearth of challengers, and it's unclear who he would take on next. Leon Edwards is on a short list of contenders, a list that would also possibly include Vicente Luque, and now, perhaps, Belal Muhammad as well. But what do you think? Do you think Muhammad should take on Leon Edwards next, or is there another fight out there for him? Don't forget to take a second to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all the latest fight news. John Kavanaugh, McGregor's coach, praises Charles Oliveira and says he may fight him one day. Questions surrounding Charles Oliveira's toughness and grit were put to bed when he submitted Dustin Poirier last week at UFC 269 to retain the lightweight title. Many people were skeptical of whether Oliveira would even be able to defend his title against whom many believed to be the best lightweight in the world prior to the fight. Those skeptics included Justin Gaethje, who is the next #1 contender for the lightweight title. But if you ask Conor McGregor's MMA coach, John Kavanaugh, the debate is over if there ever really was one. Kavanaugh knows a thing or two about champions and believes that Oliveira is a true champion who, without question, has solidified himself as the best lightweight fighter in the world. Case in point, during an interview with MMA Junkie this past week, Kavanaugh not only praised Oliveira and told critics to basically get the heck out of here, but hinted that a meeting with the Notorious One could be in their future if things fall into place.
What's he now? 10 wins in a row. Most finished, most of them being finishes. His stand-up is getting sharp now. He's got wrestling. He knocked out Chandler. They're submitting Dustin. If anybody's doubting Charles at this stage, they got to check themselves. That guy is legitimate. He's the world champion. He's a great fighter. And who knows? Maybe we meet him down the road.
McGregor, who is still recovering from a broken leg he suffered in his trilogy fight against Dustin Poirier this past summer, is looking at a return to the octagon sometime in summer 2022. For his part, McGregor himself has expressed interest in fighting Oliveira for the lightweight title. This past week, Oliveira also stated he'd be open to that bout for the belt. understanding that the money behind a McGregor fight is a completely different ballgame. But with back-to-back losses to Poirier, McGregor does look like he'd have to at least have a few more wins before he can be a legitimate contender in the eyes of many. But hey, it's MMA, it's Dana White's promotion, and anything can happen, especially if both men are keen. What do you think about Kavanaugh's interest in having McGregor meet Oliveira for the title, if it all plays out that way? And who do you think would have an advantage in this fight? We've got Justin Gaethje, the #1 contender for the lightweight title, talking about Conor McGregor and Charles Oliveira's openness to defending his lightweight title against him.
When you hear Conor wanted to jump in there and think he could skip the line.
I burn it all down, dude. What do you mean? You can burn it down. That's what I do.
How?
I fight for the belt, man. My whole life I've been working towards this. That is what's next. If not, I burn it down. It doesn't matter. I'll show up and start throwing dollies everywhere. I don't know what. He's becoming more and more irrelevant. So as time goes on, pretty soon he won't even be asking me these questions. It's gonna be a beautiful day.
What do you think about Justin Gaethje's comments here? Let us know in the comments section below. Derrick Lewis says he'll be ready to be the replacement fighter for Francis Ngannou Cyril Gane unification heavyweight title fight at UFC 270. You gotta love Derrick Lewis. He keeps it real, comes across very laid back, he's super funny, and when he's in the octagon, he comes straight for the knockout. That's what happened on Saturday night at UFC Fight Night 199, when he delivered a KO victory over Chris Daukaus in the first round to get back to his winning ways. He was coming off a TKO loss at the hands of Cyril Gane in August in his hometown of Houston, Texas, for the interim heavyweight title. During his post-fight press conference, he mentioned how he was trying to make sure the fight did not go the distance. In fact, he made it very clear that he wasn't looking to headline 5-round UFC events, preferring instead to compete in fights that are just 3 rounds. After the event, UFC President Dana White hinted that Lewis could possibly be a replacement fighter for interim champion Cyril Gane in next month's UFC 270 main event against heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou, a heavyweight title unification bout. The reason? There's uncertainty over COVID-19 travel restrictions regarding the new variant, and there is a possibility that Gane may not be able to get to the United States from France. Of course, this is just a precaution, as the UFC does have replacement fighters for main event bouts, just in case. During his post-fight press conference, Lewis was told about Dana White's plan, and this is what he had to say in an exchange with reporters.
Next month. Dana said that.
Have phone on my phone on?
Yeah, your phone, in case they need you if Cyril can't make it to the fight next month. Is that something you would consider?
If it's gonna be co-main event?
It would be a title fight, man, main event. I know you want that
we'll
title.
See. I guess we'll see. I guess, man. We'll see, man. I guess, man. Damn. I just told y'all I don't want them on 5 rounds, but okay, we'll see.
You want that belt, right? And Francis again.
I want the money. Yeah, we'll see. I guess I'll be ready, somewhat.
Lewis seemed reluctant to enter the fray for a 5-round fight against Ngannou, whom he beat by a unanimous decision in a stinker of a fight back in 2018. What do you think about Lewis possibly replacing Gane if it comes to that? And do you want to see Lewis challenge Ngannou once again? Jorge Gamebred Masvidal issues an aggressive response towards Jake Paul. Following his knockout victory of Tyron Woodley on Saturday night, Jake Paul immediately called out Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal for leaving the venue right after the bout in Tampa, Florida. Paul says he'd fight either one in the boxing ring, saying he'd pay them what they're worth, and generally badmouth the two. In fact, Paul has been very vocal about having MMA fighters box him, and why not? He's knocked out 2 former MMA champions, one in the first round in Ben Askren, another now in the 6th round in Tyron Woodley, and has shown that he's actually willing to mix it up with increasingly tougher opponents, despite having only a few years training in boxing. But Masvidal was not here for it, and it seems like he was simmering over Paul's comment, then found a red light, a camera, and issued this response that was posted on Twitter.
Listen, man, you can't afford me. You understand? Me and all the names that you mentioned, you can't afford it. I know everybody what you pay. And you talk a big game, you say $50 million here, $100 million there. That was the case. Mayweather would have took the fight with your but he hasn't because you don't generate that type of revenue. You're giving out free tickets. You got street teams giving out free tickets, man. Who the selling dreams to you? You can't afford me to come over. So let me tell you a little secret about me you didn't know. I fight for money or to fight the best in the world. You're neither. Do you understand? I know it hurts, but you're neither the best in the world or make me money. I'll tell you what, come on over to UFC, sign a one-fight deal, let Dana give you whatever gotta pay you. I'll break your jaw in front of the whole world, man. I promise you that.
Not only is Masvidal not interested in entering into a boxing bout with Paul, he's issued a challenge for the YouTuber to come to his world and enter the octagon. He's also calling out Paul's insistence that he's paying fighters their quote fair market value. But what do you think? What do you make of Masvidal's response? And how do you think Paul will respond to this? That's all for today's video. Don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel to see more videos just like this. See you next time.